Well, you can hear the wind. We've got about 60 acres back here. And when we get high winds, we really get high winds. Whips across that 60 acres. You see the barn and the house here. And that's going to be an issue. We've got 65-mile-an-hour gusts coming, which is rather unusual for this time of the year, but it seems like everything's unusual this time of the year. So we've got to make preparations because there's going to be some snow coming with it as well. Here's a look at the forecast, and gusts up to 65 miles an hour. We've got on the ground probably about a foot of snow, and they're saying that later on, this is a Monday, later on today and in through the night is when these winds are really going to kick up. They're kicking up pretty good right now. You'll hear them on the barn. So my fear is power failure. I got to get the generator ready. And with the snow on the ground and the snow forecast, well, that's possible blizzard conditions and probably some drifting snow. Lake Erie's about 80% froze. There's a lot of snow sitting on the lake. And believe it or not, what will happen is the winds coming out of the south-southwest, I believe, is it will pick up snow off the lake and deposit it here. We could have some pretty substantial drifting tomorrow too. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. Got to get the generator ready. I want to put some food out for the critters as well. Driving this morning, the amount of deer activity out is not surprising, but really unusual to see during the day. But they know that weather's coming and they're going to bed down tonight most likely, so they're out gathering food during the day. Thanks for joining us, and let's get to work. Hey, if you enjoy our videos, we sure would appreciate a thumbs up right here. Thanks so much for being with us. All right, so this is my generator. It's a Craftsman. Had it for a number of years. Don't have a lot of hours on it because power failures around here are not usually an issue. But where my house is, it's a very, I don't know what you call it, grid possibly, or sub-circuit. There's only 4 houses on it, so mine and 3 others. So if the power goes out, let's just say we are not exactly a priority for the power company. So we could be without power for a while, so I want to get this thing going. So here is the cord that I've got hooked up, and the house is about 12 feet away, and I plug it into the house, which goes into my transfer switch. I'm not going to plug it into the house yet, but I do want to run the generator and make sure that it starts, and just run it a little bit, check the oil and so on and so forth. Just want to be ready. All right, so I just stretched out the cord just to make sure I'm situated properly. It's running fine. I forgot to turn the fuel on, which is why I quit. And I want to check the fluids and get the tractor greased, feed the critters, and we'll see whatever else we get into. All right, oil seems fine. Should have a full tank of gas. Let's make sure. All right, fuel is fine. This will run everything in the house except the air conditioner, which we're certainly not going to need, but it'll keep the heater going. And most of the plugs in the house, I'll be able to run the stove. Stove is gas, but you need electric to ignite it. Well, if you're using the igniter. Refrigerators will run. We'll be all right. Also, I've got 20 gallons of gas. On a full tank, and I think that's 8 gallons, It'll run about 12 hours. So we're okay for, I don't know, maybe a couple days, day and a half. But we're okay there. All right, so let's get the critters fed. This is a mix. And you can see mostly corn and some nuts and what have you. You can see deer tracks all over the place. And I'm going to put it down right here because this is where I'm going to be installing the trail cam. All right, I want to get the tractor greased. Lock and lube, best thing ever. I also want to get the shop heater fueled up with diesel. It's a 215,000 BTU torpedo heater. Takes either kerosene or diesel fuel. Obviously, I have diesel fuel around, so that's what I choose to use. And it works great. The only problem is I can't use it when I'm filming. It's just too loud. So usually if I'm doing a project out here and trying to film for you guys, I'm freezing. All right, that's it for now. I will report back most likely in the morning. Well, it is now the next morning, Tuesday. And pretty much everything they said was going to happen happened. We got the super high winds. And we got snow. Looks like in the driveway anywhere from, I don't know, 3 inches to 10 inches, depending on the drifting and that. So we'll have to get that taken care of. But tonight, they're calling for, at least last night's forecast was calling for overnight tonight, about another 10 inches or so. So we'll probably be plowing either late today, probably in the morning, I would think, because it's supposed to start around 6 o'clock today. But no, we didn't lose power, and that's good. But you know, so yeah, we went through some preparation in that. But you know, again, the good news is we didn't lose power. But you know, it reminded me, I don't know if you guys have experienced this too. I used to live in Florida, and we went through 3 hurricanes there, but had probably 3 times that amount in close calls. And when there's a hurricane coming, you know, you saw I did a little preparation yesterday. That's nothing compared to what you've got to do for a hurricane. And it would seem that when it would not come through our area and totally destroy us and kill everybody, the people got mad. Well, I went through all, they don't know what they're doing and what have you. I've never understood that. We kind of see the same thing with snow too. If they predict a big amount of snow and it doesn't come, I just don't understand that kind of thinking. Matter of fact, the last hurricane we went through was scheduled to come in as a Category 5. If you know anything about hurricanes, that's like God's hand just wipes out everything in its path. I mean, it's total and complete devastation. We fled 700 miles to get away from that storm. Never thought I'd see my house again. Well, the damage we had was next to nothing. The hurricane turned at the last minute. And I'm telling you, people were actually upset. And I just don't understand that kind of thinking. I really don't. So I got back to the house and thought I was going to take care of this snow. And everything went all right until, well, you see a few minutes from now, I nearly made about a $750 mistake. But, you know, the man upstairs was watching out for me. You'll see, and again, it's usually caused whenever I make mistakes by my own stupidity. And, yeah, that's exactly what this was, too. So it all started by my trying to get better shots. So I set the camera with the built-in microphone system up on the edge of the bucket, kind of where you would put your bolt-on hooks. And I just kind of like the shot that it gives us. And I've done it many, many times without issue, but not this time. So you can see on top of the bucket, the camera, kind of towards the right-hand side, again, where you would put your bolt-on hooks. I just like the camera shots that it gets, just kind of interesting, and used it many times. Everything going along good here until... Well, until I decided I'm going to try to move these big snowbanks back. And you can still see the camera up on the bucket, and this is in slow motion, of course. And I'm going to turn my RPMs up and kind of push with the tractor to move the snowbanks back, because we've got more snow coming, and it's only the end of January. Again, you can see the camera still right there, and I'm going to kind of toss that snow back. Camera's still there. But I make this last push into the pile, and you're looking at what the camera sees on the left-hand side, well, there it goes. I had no idea it popped off. I did decide as I backed away from the pile that, geez, I better move that camera. I think I'm going to move it on top of the cab. And so I got out of the tractor, and here's where I realized that it's gone. I look at the pile and think, oh no, because not only was it the camera, it was the wireless microphone system, and all I saw was dollar signs. So my son happened to be out there at the time, so I called him over as I was kind of tossing the snow, lifting it up, dropping it slowly, and we were both watching to see if we could find the camera. And this went on for a while, and I finally realized that it was a futile effort, and the only thing that I could think of at this point, because I was not going to just let it go, the only thing I could think of at this point was to actually start removing the pile and bringing the pile behind me onto the front lawn, and that's exactly what we started doing. So I started moving it over bucket by bucket. Brian was watching kind of both ends. One is I would take snow off, the other is I would dump it on the front lawn. And this went on for quite some time. I was starting, I thought the camera may be in one of the huge ice boulders, and then, I was never going to find it till spring. But, once again, the man upstairs was looking out for me, and thank God my son has good eyes, because all of a sudden we saw something that looked like a camera. So here you see when I uncovered it. I hadn't realized it yet that it was uncovered. When I backed away, that's kind of when Brian saw it, and it was still intact. And it was still recording. I can't believe it. I mean, these GoPros are almost indestructible, but I am just absolutely so grateful that we found it. Amazing. This I had on the front bucket, and I was starting to push the big pile back, and the next thing I know, I don't see it. I'm not sure how much I captured on video as to what happened from there, but that huge pile, had to move half of it to the front lawn, one bucket at a time, trying to find this. This is pretty expensive. It's the camera and the audio system. I think it was still recording when we dug it up. It probably took us about a half hour. My son was standing out there as I was dumping the bucket, seeing if he could see it coming out. He's the one that actually spotted it. Amazing. I can't believe I found it. So if you watched our videos, with snow plowing videos, you've seen that right over here is where I pile all the snow. And it's huge. It's about as tall as I am, probably about twice the length of my truck. We had to clear this whole area out, bucket by bucket, relocate it over here on the front lawn, and my son kind of stood by, and he's the one that spotted it right over here. Just absolutely amazing, and it's still working. Just cannot believe it.